Hi friends, Sunshine Squirrel here. Welcome to my channel. I'm a veterinarian that loves all things animals and all things Disney. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Disney's wide array of transportation options for you at this Walt Disney World resort. These options vary depending upon the different resorts, and so hopefully this video will help you guys in maybe deciding whether or not you want to stay at a certain resort for your next upcoming trip. And I'm basically going to be ranking these different options based on their reliability, total amount of travel time, and overall convenience. And let me know in the comments below what's your favorite way to travel at Walt Disney World. So my favorite way to travel at Walt Disney World is none other than the monorail. This is kind of Disney's, I would say, probably most iconic form of transportation. It's kind of like a bus that in the sky. The monorail can carry a lot of people on it, and so it makes it really convenient. So the different resorts that have monorail transportation are going to be the Contemporary Resort, including Bay Lake, which is the DVC building there, the Polynesian Village Resort, and the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. And so these three resorts are on the monorail track. They have a monorail track that goes to those three resorts and then has a stop at Magic Kingdom and the Ticket and Transportation Center. At the Ticket and Transportation Center, you can then hop off of the resort monorail and hop aboard the Epcot monorail, which will take you to the Epcot theme park. So one of the great things about the monorail, like I said, is that it can take a lot of people and it's very fast. Typically, if you miss a train or you just get to the station and you're waiting on a train, it probably takes around 10 to 15 minutes for the next train to come through, but it's fairly short. And I will say that I've never seen a time when the monorail was shut down or closed for repairs or for anything like that. So they tend to keep the monorail flowing pretty consistently and without delay. I've never rode the monorail in an electrical storm though, so I'm not sure if a storm would get bad enough. Disney probably may have to close the monorail down. I don't think I would feel too comfortable riding on it, to be honest with you guys, in the electrical storm, but it's my favorite mode of transportation. It's fast, it's clean, it's air conditioned, it's a great way to get around the park. So if you really want to be able to ride the monorail, you still can have that option even if you're not staying on the three resorts that I mentioned. But if you want the monorail to be your primary Disney transportation, then those three resorts are your best go. And one thing that I did forget to mention is that the monorail is going to give you the most scenic routes, I think, of Walt Disney World, especially if you take the monorail to and from Epcot. You're really going to get to see a lot more of the Walt Disney World property, and it's always fun to kind of have that higher up view of everything. So the next form of transportation we're going to talk about is boat transportation. At the Walt Disney World Resort, there are two forms of boat transportation. So there is the boat transportation that basically takes you from the hotels to the theme parks, or boat transportation that will take you from a generalized type of parking area slash theme park to another. So for example, there's the ferry at the Ticket and Transportation Center that's going to take you to the Magic Kingdom. So if you drive to the Magic Kingdom, you're going to park at the Ticket and Transportation Center and then take the ferry, or you could take the express monorail to Magic Kingdom. If you are staying at one of the resorts that surrounds the Magic Kingdom and has access to the water, so that's going to be, just like we already talked about for the monorail, the Contemporary, the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, as well as Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness, you are going to have a boat that's going to come and pick you up and can take you to the Magic Kingdom as well. Now, if you are traveling to, if you are staying at the Contemporary or Wilderness Lodge, you are going to be sharing that Magic Kingdom boat. So the boat is going to stop at either the Contemporary or the Wilderness Lodge first, and then it will switch and go to the other resort, then pick up those guests, then do a return trip to Magic Kingdom. If you are staying at the Polynesian or Grand Floridian, they share a boat. And basically the boat will leave from Magic Kingdom, stop at Grand Floridian, then go to Polynesian, and then from the Polynesian go back to the Magic Kingdom. If you're staying at Fort Wilderness, you do have your own boat. Back in the day, they did make Fort Wilderness and the Wilderness Lodge share their boat, but no longer. However, I will say that there have been times of the year where if the boat system is backed up, or it's specialty times and the holiday season, that boat schedule may change. They can always decide to stop boat transportation as well, with really not that much notice. So I wouldn't bank that your entire trip you're going to be able to do boat transportation the whole time. For example, if there is any type of electrical storms or things like that, the boat service does stop. Especially if you are staying at the Grand Floridian or Polynesian, they have these tiny, smaller type boats that transport people. Now there is a second set of Disney resorts that are also on a boat transportation system, and that is going to be your Disney resorts that border and are kind of sandwiched between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So that's Disney's Boardwalk, Disney's Beach and Yacht Club, as well as the Swan and Dolphin. All are on a boat transportation system. The boat will go around, and basically it starts at Hollywood Studios, and guests staying at those resorts can take boat transportation to Hollywood Studios, and then the bus will start at Hollywood Studio. The boat will start at Hollywood Studios and then go to the different resorts. And then the final kind of destination of the boat is at Epcot in the World Showcase. And so guests staying at those resorts have boat transportation to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, as well as those different resorts. Disney's Riviera is not on that boat transportation, even though it kind of is in that sort of area of the theme parks, but it is nice to know that those other ones are on a boat transportation system. Frankly, I love riding the monorail. Like I said, I love the convenience of it, but I would have to say, out of all of the transportation options at Disney, the boat transportation is just so relaxing. It's so peaceful. It's a great way to unwind and just kind of relax from kind of the craziness that the parks can be sometime. And it's just really pretty to be out on the water, and you really get a nice breeze. It's not super hot. So I really recommend the boat transportation. I will say that the boat transportation around Beach Club and Yacht Club and Boardwalk, the boats felt a little bit more hot to me, so I probably wouldn't recommend doing that boat transportation during the summer because it just felt very stuffy. But the boat transportation on the Seven Seas Lagoon, which borders Magic Kingdom, is excellent, and I would highly recommend it. Alright, so the third transportation option we're going to be talking about is Disney's bus transportation system. So Disney bus transportation is available at every single Disney resort. The only difference is that some of the resorts don't have buses that go to everywhere on the Walt Disney World property because Disney is expecting you to use other forms of transportation. So for example, if you are staying at, once again, the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, and the Polynesian, there is no bus that will take you to Epcot or to Magic Kingdom because Disney is expecting you to use the monorail to get to Epcot, or to use the monorail and or boats to get to Magic Kingdom. However, if you're staying at any of the other resorts, there is bus transportation to all the different parks and locations. So I do want to put that out there. We did make that mistake one year. We went down for the bus stop, but they want you to use those other forms of transportation. So just keep that in mind, that if you stay at those resorts, don't go down to catch the bus. You have to use either the monorail or the boat in those cases. So the things I want to mention about the bus transportation system, the buses are clean. They can get a little wet if it is raining and things like that, and they can get a little bit cramped. So if you are trying to head into the parks for a rope drop early in the morning, expect there to be long lines at the bus stations at your resort. Vice versa, if you are staying till park close and you're going to stay for fireworks and literally stay till Disney closes, expect there to be long lines to get on the bus to head back to your resort. Sometimes the end of the day catching the bus is really long lines, to the point where you may be in line and have to wait for 2 or 3 buses to come before you're able to get on those buses. Now, I will say with the buses, they can take a little bit longer than the boat and the monorail. So the buses can take anywhere from, I would say, 20 to 40 minutes as far as wait time, depending upon when you get to the bus station. The good thing now is that on your My Disney Experience app, if you download the Disney Experience app, you can log in, and for your resort, you can check to see what time the next bus will be arriving at your resort for which theme park. So if you're in your room in the morning and you're getting ready and you can see that a bus is going to be there in 10 minutes, you may want to speed up the getting ready process so you can catch that bus. Or conversely, if you say, oh, okay, well, we have a little bit more time, before the bus is going to be here, plan accordingly. I would say as well, if you are primarily at a resort that only has bus transportation or mainly uses bus transportation, make sure to plan ahead for fast passes as well as for dining reservations. Sometimes with bus transportation, I know it may sound kind of crazy, guys, but it can take you an hour to end up getting to where you need to go. So definitely plan ahead. Don't try to cut things at the last minute or expect for a bus to be there basically the moment that you need it. Want to mention is Disney's Minnie van service, which is provided by the Lyft transportation service. You basically download the Lyft app, and then you basically confirm your pickup location and you select a minivan. The prices vary depending upon the distance that you're going to be traveling, and the lifts, these Minnie Mouse lifts basically can carry you anywhere on the Walt Disney World Resort property. So they're really nice if you kind of want to get somewhere a little bit faster than one of the other transportation methods, or if you want to have a more kind of private transportation option. And Lyft basically is in operation from 6:30 to around 12:30 a.m. daily. And you can also even use this service to get to and from the airport. And you can book your reservations for Lyft 45 to 60 minutes in advance, going from location to location within Walt Disney World. But then if you want them to take you to the airport, you can book that as early as 6 months in advance. I will say a note, if you do want to use the Minnie Mouse service for driving to the airport, it does take around $155 each way. So definitely make sure to keep that in mind. And the last Disney transportation system is Disney's new Skyliner that came out in fall of 2019. The Skyliner is basically Disney's gondola system in the sky. It connects Epcot and Hollywood Studios via the system, as well as 4 resorts. So it connects Disney's Riviera Resort, which is a DVC or Disney Vacation Club Resort, Disney's Caribbean Beach, Disney's Art of Animation, and Disney's Pop Century Resort. The gondolas are a very kind of novel way of traveling in that they are newer to Disney. Disney did have, a little bit of a issue with them last year, not soon after they opened, but I haven't heard of any more issues with the gondolas since then. The thing that I do like about having the gondolas transportation is that it's another option for these other resorts that are kind of considered farther away from some of the other parks and kind of the main Magic Kingdom center of Walt Disney World hub area. So I think it's a great option that's been added on to individuals that are staying at these different resorts. And I think it's a great way, even if you aren't staying at one of those resorts, to travel from Epcot to Hollywood Studios instead of taking the bus. But you know, I'm not sure, exactly, how these gondola systems will fare when we hit summer, because these were released in the fall when temperatures are a little bit lower. The actual cars are not air conditioned, so I'm not sure how these cars are gonna fare during the really hot summer months in Florida. And so I'm interested to see kind of the popularity of this transportation system and if Disney has to make any sort of accommodations in the future because of that. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me as we discuss the different options for you for Disney's complimentary transportation system while you are staying at the Walt Disney Resorts, or even if you're not staying, the different options that are available to you. Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite transportation method and if that really makes a difference in deciding which resort you're going to stay at. And if after going through this review, if it kind of changed your opinions on anything, I would love to hear from you guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!